Despite the gray skies, drivers of all shapes and sizes hope to shake off the blues to tackle the Lady in Black at Darlington.
The place is shaped like an egg, but it often behaves like the Bermuda Triangle. Not every car that goes in comes out. Those that do often leave with a stripe. We'll hear from the heroes who hit the checkers after 293 laps.
We also have a driver who is seeing red and another who gets a glimpse of the Pentagon.
This is the weekend when folks traditionally wear green. Be there or be square. Speed News NASCAR edition starts now.
Speed News NASCAR edition presented by Circuit City.
Well, forget about the Nomex, break out the Gore-Tex. NASCAR tries to tackle the track that for much of the weekend was too wet to race on. I'm Ralph Shaheen.
And I'm Dave Despain. This is one of those special days in racing, a finish that folks will remember for many, many years to come. They have now raced 100 times at Darlington in the most historic of NASCAR superspeedways, and all the sport's legendary drivers have done battle there. A half dozen times the race has been won with a last lap pass, but there has never been a finish like the one we saw today. We pick up the action early, and carnage, lap 6. Jerry Nadeau, third on the grid, spins, doesn't hit anything, but in the smoke behind him, point leader Matt Kenseth finds rookie Jamie McMurray down low. Kenseth got beat up, comes back to finish 8th. And then to Jimmy Johnson into Sterling Marlin, shades of Las Vegas. Marlin, last year's winner here. We jump on board with Robbie Gordon. The smoke up ahead is Sterling, who can't turn when he gets the thing to the corner. All part of Darlington. Jeff Burton, another blown motor after coming from 37th to the top 10. Hey, Jack, it's not as bad as last week. Nadeau had recovered to run in the top 3 until an oil fitting broke. Nobody deserves that kind of bad luck. Two guys who led a lot of laps. Junior said that this was the best Darlington car he's ever had, and Martin led most of that second long run. Darlington's pit road entrance, one of the toughest on the circuit to hit. Kurt Busch demonstrates, losing 6 spots in the process. We go to the last pit stop. Jeff Gordon, looking for his 7th Darlington win, had the car to beat, came out with the lead. Martin might have had the car to beat Jeff, came out with 4 lug nuts instead of 5, and he's out of contention. Run your own race. Save your tires. Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney listened to their crew chiefs all day, made late charges. Blaney to a career best 3rd. That's strong. Gordon and pole sitter Elliott Sadler got racy a little too early, perhaps. Elliott faded to 7th. Gordon would hit the wall 33rd. And who's that up the inside making it 3 wide? Ah, yes, the always racy Kurt Busch. With that, we go to the last lap. Here comes Craven up the inside, gets into Kurt, drives him into the wall. Kurt, with no power steering, comes back under Ricky and gets him loose. They both should have crashed right there. Instead, they make it to turn 4. Here comes the body slam, side by side, across the line, beating on each other, smoking 0.02 of a second the difference. And how they managed to not wad them both up in a ball in turn 1, I do not know. We go back to look again at that next to last lap contact. Craven hadn't won since Martinsville in 01. Pontiac hadn't won yet this year. Busch, he's just hungry all the time. Looked like he might get away, but Craven came back so strong, and there you have the closest finish since NASCAR started doing it electronically in 1993. That was sensational. Bob Dillner talked to Craven in Victory Lane.
Wow, it was one of the greatest finishes in NASCAR history. Ricky Craven, the victor here at Darlington. But the question is, Ricky, did you know you won?
I really didn't. I really didn't. It's just, you know, I'd rather have won by a lap, you know, but at the time. But, you know, looking back on it, you say, wow, maybe once in your lifetime you get that opportunity to race somebody right at the end for a win at one of the greatest, historically, one of the greatest racetracks on the circuit.
You had the run on him there with a couple laps to go. You were getting by him. He knocked into you, and that looks like it drove you even more.
Well, at that point, you know, he and I both had a chance to wreck, but he gathered it up, and he got underneath me, and I gathered it up. And instead of spinning the tires off the car, and the Goodyear tires were great, instead of spinning the tires off the Tide Pontiac, I said, I only need one shot. And I wasn't strong enough to pass him and get away from him, so it's like I got one shot. But at the end of the day, that was a great entertainment for the fans. And for us, it's why we do this. I mean, that right there, that pumps life into a driver and says, hey, this is what it's all about.
Certainly some excitement today at Darlington for Ricky Craven, his second career Winston Cup win. I still have goosebumps.
You're not alone, Bob. That was a great one. Ricky Craven becomes the 40th different winner in the 100 Winston Cup races that have been contested at Darlington. The Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney, gets his career best finish at third. A much better weekend for Roush Racing. 4 cars in the top 12, including Greg Biffle. Ryan Newman started second, finished 14th. Here's more from the key players.
It's a shame that we weren't able to pull through, and we had all the elements except for one, and we lost another one there at the end. And we're just trying to do the best we can and piece things together. 3 second-place finishes. There's a reason why we're not in victory lane, so we're working as hard as we can with our Rubbermaid Ford.
Man, describe those last couple laps, especially without power steering.
Yeah, it was fading. It was cutting in and out. It was hard for me to get a feel of the race car. It finally cut out with 10 to go. I could not feel it. I was so heavy, I couldn't turn the wheel. And, you know, we were okay in 1 and 2, with 3 and 4, it was just so heavy, so tight. I couldn't make it stick, and so that's where he got by us.
We were really good at the end of long runs, but there at the end, 32 was a little better. I think we were going to get to the 97 quick, but 32 was really running good. And hats off to him. He got out of the pits before we did on that last run, and we were stuck behind him. But I'm excited for Booty and everybody at the Jasper team. It was a good day for them.
It's pretty ugly. Had to come from a long way back. We just didn't have time. That's a long way back, and you know, this is a great race team. We've had a lot of bad luck already this year, and we've had some great runs too, and this was certainly a winning caliber effort.
The springs and shocks that we tested with on the primary car, we thought that car was pretty well right. And so we just put it all on that car, and it worked. And I'm real proud of the team. It's all about communication. I think we communicated really well today.
Jimmy McMurray got together early on with Matt Kenseth. The day never got better. He finished 22nd. Jimmy Johnson doesn't gain any ground in the points chase with a 27th place finish. Jeff Gordon had the dominant car until the very end, denied his 7th Darlington win, ends up frustrated in 33rd. Atlanta winner Bobby Labonte was 37th. Last year's spring Darlington winner Sterling Marlin crossed the line in 39th. Jeff Burton had everyone wondering if the Roush engine woes were going to continue when engine problems ended his day in 42nd.
We've just begun to earn our Darlington stripe. We'll return to the track for more post-race coverage and check out NASCAR's Top 10 when Speed News NASCAR Edition returns.
Speed News Sunday is brought to you by Circuit City. We know the excitement you feel about the latest digital toys. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And by Subaru. Visit us online at Subaru.com to see the full line of Subaru all-wheel drive vehicles.
Winston Cup points, no change among the top 3. And how about Michael Waltrip hanging in there at all the tracks, not just the plate tracks? Junior, Craven, and Busch making huge early season gains, up 6, 11, and 8 positions respectively.
Bob Dylan's springtime date with the Lady in Black is almost over.
And I would think that would be a pretty interesting place and day to be gathering those post-race sound bites. Bob, what'd you come up with?
It was pretty interesting. You know, the Lady in Black provided plenty of adversity for some teams today. Some guys overcame it, some didn't. Take a look at Kurt Busch. Yesterday, a blown engine. Today, he missed pit road and then didn't have power steering for the last 50 laps, yet he finished second and almost won the race. And then you take a look at a guy like Elliott Sadler. Sat on the pole, was running up front until he slapped the wall at the end of the day, and that ruined his day.
Man, we had a great day and a great race car, and just a stupid driving mistake. I was following Gordon and pressuring pretty hard, and he got up in the wall, and I was thinking, man, there's my chance. So I just matted it wide open, tried to go under him, and then I hit the wall the same lap, same corner he did.
Similar to what we had at Atlanta, I think. As far as we may not have had the problem that caused what we had at Atlanta, but it broke the same thing. And really disheartening. Everybody's working really hard, and you know, it's obviously we're having more engine problems than we need to have, but it's not from a lack of effort.
I went into one. I think the 40 car had a tire going down, and I went to turn left, and I think I run across somebody's right front, spun out and got involved, but that's the way it goes.
I was run through 1 and 2 and just went to go let Mark Martin by, and I just got a little bit high to let him by, and I got in the marbles and got in the fence, and it made it a long day from the rest of the day on out. Just bent the right front fender in and had trouble with it. This place got me.
Yeah, we had a top 10 car, and then Mike Skinner caught in us in the left rear quarter panel. I don't know what he was thinking. You know, we were trying to take our patience and be calm and race the racetrack, but oh well, that's what Mike usually does. He doesn't use his head.
I mean, we had the car to beat. You know, at that point I was tight, but still I had the track position. I was out front, and all I had to do was keep it out of the wall. And obviously that wasn't as easy as I thought it was.
Jeff Gordon was going for his 7th win here in Darlington, and he told us afterwards, I blame myself. Another guy that had a good run going until some trouble was John Andretti. He was in the top 5 and top 10 for a good part of the day, and then he said, Jimmy Spencer got me. So a tough day for John Andretti here, but once again, an absolutely fantastic finish. I said I had goosebumps before. I still do, because that was absolutely awesome to see, guys.
The other thing we always hear about Darlington, Bob, is patience. Who, in your mind, did the best job of being patient today and got the biggest reward for it?
Well, I don't know. You got to give a nod to Kurt Busch, because he definitely had a good day. No power steering at Darlington is pretty tough for 50 laps. In fact, after the race, his right arm was hurting pretty good. But Michael Waltrip had to go to a backup car after running so good in practice yesterday and then wrecking his car. Went to a backup, had a good run. But once again, this finish today kind of reminded me of those old modified finishes between Jeff Bodine and Richie Evans at Martinsville, or maybe Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt at Bristol just a few short years ago. Again, Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch down to the line here today, and I can't wait to see the videotape time and time again.
All right, Bob, thanks. We'll catch up with you next week from Bristol. Well, Monday night's NASCAR TV on Speed Lineup should have smoke pouring out of your TiVo. Instead, Inside Winston Cup kicks it off at 7 p.m. Then it's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Rewind at 8, Speed News NASCAR Edition at 10:30, and Inside NASCAR Busch Series at 11. All times are, of course, Eastern.
Hey, who let the dog out? And Craftsman truck drivers want to know who let the Dodges out. The tale of the tailgaters at Darlington coming up on Speed News NASCAR Edition.
But next, we talk to a former NASCAR Busch Series champion hoping to take his new team to the points title. Well, if you're a weatherman who wants a little help with your forecasting, start predicting the weather around a NASCAR weekend. It's easy. Anybody can do it. Rain.
Indeed, for the second time in 3 races, the NASCAR Busch Series campaigners have to hang around until Monday to pick up their paychecks. Rained out Saturday afternoon. The DarlingtonRaceway.com 200 rolls off at 11 Eastern tomorrow, Monday, with the live and flag-to-flag handled by the FX Network. Series assured a new point leader. Bushwhacker Kevin Harvick atop the standings after Vegas, not entered at Darlington.
David Green is used to having success in NASCAR's Busch Series. He won the championship back in 1994. Having quickly settled into a new team this year, there is no reason to believe that there won't be more success in David's future. Speed's Bob Dillner talked with him.
Rain, go away, come back some other day. That's what a lot of Busch Series teams are saying. 2 times qualifying has been postponed by rain, and twice the guys have had to race on Monday. They will race on Monday here in Darlington. And David Green, you're on top of the heap as far as the Busch guys in the points. I know Kevin Harvick leads this series right now, but you're the main guy as far as the guys in this garage area. A great season so far, huh?
Boy, lovely. Everyone at Bruco, Team Bruco I call it now, and the Timberwolf team has done an excellent job. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys, a great effort week in and week out. And yeah, we've been doused with some rain here, there, and yonder, but you know, the guys continually just strive hard to give me the kind of race car it takes to win races.
You were supposed to line up 7th in this race, but you're going to have to go to the back of the pack. Why?
Yeah, well, opposite of Rockingham, when we sat on the pole for a couple extra days, now we're going to be in the back for a couple extra days. But Brad Thrower and everyone at Bill Davis Racing Engines done an excellent job with their engines. Thursday in the first practice, about 2 laps into practice, we had a $5 piece kind of go away. Thank goodness we didn't tear the motor up, but we deemed it necessary to go ahead and put a new one in. So we lost all our practice on Thursday, but Friday was excellent practice for us. And hey, they're going to hinder us a little bit on the start right here, but we'll get up there, and the guys have great pit stops and get us to the front.
David Green is currently second in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings, 55 markers behind Kevin Harvick. But Harvick isn't running the whole schedule, so in theory, David's really leading. That same thinking means Jason Keller is second, not fifth. Are NASCAR drivers held to a higher standard? We tackle that subject with Mike Wallace, who pleaded his recent punishment to a new level.
Then we'll tag along as Mr. Bodine goes to Washington. Todd toured the Pentagon this week.
The key word here is experience. 2001, the inaugural NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Darlington was won by Winston Cup veteran Bobby Hamilton.
And last year's Darlington's second race for the Short Bed Brigade, that fell to another Winston Cup veteran, Ted Musgrave. So Friday, truck race number 3 at Darlington came down to, you guessed it, experience. Hamilton versus Musgrave. Of course, it didn't start that way. Qualifying rained out, so owner points put young Travis Quapple up front. Musgrave first to make a move, followed by number 2, Hard Luck Leffler. Jason and Ted have had a fight or two for pickup truck success, but Jason's never won one. Bobby Hamilton started 14th, sort of slid to the front, then Musgrave's catch can hung up, nearly dragged his crewman to downtown Darlington. He's okay, no penalty. Hard Luck Leffler. Andy Houston hits the wall, hunk a tire, hurt Jason's Dodge, left him 6th. A restart then with 17 to go, and which veteran's going to have the stuff? Musgrave looked better than Hamilton and everybody else for almost exactly a lap, and then Bobby came storming by, grateful that the caution had erased Musgrave's big lead. Even more pleased to have all the horses he needed in hand. Hamilton gets his second win in 3 tries, so apparently this track is not too tough for Bobby to tame. He is a tough guy in a Ram Tough truck, but that Lhasa Apso or whatever that thing is a dead giveaway. This guy obviously has a sensitive side.
I think it was a Yorkie. Dodge takes 5 of the top 6 spots. Quapple's Chevy spoiled the party by finishing 4th. The Dodge domination has had the manufacturers banging on the door of NASCAR's Big Red Truck. Bob Dillner has a story on NASCAR taking trucks to the wind tunnel.
They call Darlington the track too tough to tame, but so far the Dodge trucks have pulled into victory lane and tamed Darlington 3 straight years. And they also own the top 3 spots during the Craftsman Truck Series 200 here in Darlington this year. So NASCAR is taking a couple of trucks to the wind tunnel from each make this week.
They got their downforce in the front, and, you know, my hats are off to them. Hopefully NASCAR will study this thing and make it even. Let's put it back in the driver's seat. Don't let have somebody have a little bit of aero advantage, but that's what it is right now.
We'll see. I think NASCAR's got a little trip plan for these trucks, and I think they're taking mine, no scratches on it, so it'll be a good truck.
Are they taking them all to the wind tunnel, one from each make?
Maybe a couple. I don't think they settled for one, so maybe a couple, 2 or 3 from each make. I don't know if there's that many Fords here, but we got the fastest Ford in the field anyway.
There's a big definition of racing. Drivers race, manufacturers race, NASCAR tries to keep parity, mechanics and engineers try to have the best product, and it's just a big full circle, and that's what makes the sport as great as it is. So, I mean, we're in it to sell Dodge Rams, and NASCAR's in it for everybody to sell trucks, but we want to sell more Dodge Rams than anybody else.
You take the combination of Bobby and I, how many laps we got around this place. I mean, he was at Nashville for 3 days of testing. I was there for 2 days of testing. Dodge rented Pikes Peak, Colorado for a test. We work as a team really, really hard. We do a lot of testing. We do a lot of homework in the shop, you know, and that's what shows up on the racetrack.
NASCAR does a great job of, you know, evaluating the trucks after a race like today, and that's what they're going to do. They've got, you know, we've got a new Chevrolet nose, we've got an old Chevrolet nose, we've got a couple of Fords, got some new Dodges, so we take them all to the wind tunnel and then find out where we're at.
A Chevy hasn't won a race yet this year, but a Ford and Dodge have. And of course, we were at Daytona a few weeks back, the big super speedway, and this week here at Darlington on the intermediate track. But next week, we go bumping and banging on the short track in Bakersfield, California. And of course, that'll be live, as always, on Speed.
In the battle for the head table at the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Awards banquet, Bobby Hamilton holds a slim 5-point advantage over Travis Quapple. Rick Crawford is only 14 back in third. Andy Houston rounds out the top 10.
And looking ahead, NASCAR TV on Speed Channel this week, all times Eastern Standard. Totally NASCAR, yours each weeknight at 6:30. Winston Cup Wednesday at 8 p.m. And trackside from Bristol Motor Speedway Friday night at 7.
After 5 rounds of Bud Pole qualifying for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, we still don't have a two-time winner. Chevrolet and Ford have both been on top of the speed charts twice, Dodge once with Newman. Pontiac is still waiting for a turn at the photo op.
Ambushed during a Rockingham Busch race by an FX network microphone he didn't know was there, Mike Wallace uttered an obscenity on national television that earned him a $3,000 fine. He appealed to the NASCAR Commission, which said this week Mike's testimony was succinct and sincere. He conducted himself in a professional manner during an ensuing broadcast interview with a reporter he saw coming, and he still has to pay the $3 grand.
You know, as they told me, we appealed a very good case, but because the competition department had already made a decision on their fine, they were just going to uphold it. I've realized after talking to numerous people, once the decision's made, don't even waste your time to appeal things. Drivers, when they walk through the gate at the racetrack, are expected to be on their utmost behavior. Whether a camera is in a distance or whatever, they said be prepared for it. You're supposed to be a high-profile driver, and that's what they expect you to act.
Elsewhere, Crew Chief James Inns picked up a $1,000 fine after Atlanta. Unapproved fuel filler check valve assembly on Johnny Benson's Pontiac. Mike Ford also hit for $1 grand, altering Bill Elliott's Dodge on pit road after it had been checked through with the templates.
With the threat of war a serious possibility, NASCAR teams and officials are making contingency plans for travel for upcoming races in Fort Worth, Talladega, and Fontana. Fox is also making arrangements to air its Winston Cup races on its cable partner FX if America's war on terrorism escalates. Todd Bodine's Winston Cup sponsor, the National Guard, arranged a visit for him Wednesday to one of this country's greatest landmarks, the Pentagon. After posing in front of one of the most televised podiums in news, Todd also got the chance to visit with and sign autographs for the men and women of our armed forces at the Walter Reed Medical Center and at the Army National Guard Readiness Center.
And to the Bristol High Banks next week on TV. Speed has Busch qualifying Friday. Fox Sports follows with Cup Q's. In person, expansion means 13,000 more people will jam the track. Saturday, FX has the Busch race and Cup happy hour. Sunday, NASCAR this morning on Fox Sports, the race on Fox. And then, of course, we'll be here to wrap it up in the evening time.
Well, that's all the NASCAR news for today. I'm Ralph Shaheen.
And I'm Dave Despain, and we've got a great deal more motorsports fun and excitement to deal with, so stay with us.